I never thought I would be standing here, in the ruins of everything I once held dear, questioning my entire life. But here I am, broken, but not defeated. I will rise again. These words echoed in my mind the day I discovered the woman I trusted most, the one I called my wife, had been living a double life. Her betrayal wasn't just an affair, it was an attack on everything we built together. But little did she know, her lies would lead to my greatest triumph. This is the story of my journey from heartbreak and devastation to empowerment, healing, and a new beginning. It all began like any other day, but my life would soon shatter into a million pieces. I was sitting at home, casually scrolling through my phone when I noticed a notification on my wife's account. Something out of place. It wasn't just an ordinary message. It was an intimate exchange, one that sent shockwaves through my entire being. I had suspected something for a while. The late nights, the distant behavior, and the unexplained excuses were all starting to make sense. But nothing prepared me for what I would find. My wife, the mother of my children, was having an affair. The shocking revelation hit me like a ton of bricks. My head spun as I tried to process the depths of her betrayal. I didn't panic. I didn't scream. Instead, I quietly took screenshots of every conversation I found, every damning piece of evidence. I knew I had to be smart about this. She wouldn't see it coming. The truth always comes out eventually, and that day was no exception. With the undeniable evidence in my hand, I decided it was time to confront her. As I waited for her to return home, my emotions were a whirlwind of anger, hurt, and disbelief. I replayed our entire marriage in my mind, questioning every moment, every memory, wondering how I had missed the signs. How could the woman I loved so much betray me in the most heart-wrenching way possible? When she walked through the door, I calmly told her that I knew everything. Her face turned pale. She stammered, trying to deny it, but the evidence was irrefutable. At that moment, I saw her for what she truly was. Someone who had no regard for the vows we had taken, for the family we had built, or for the life we had shared. I gave her one final chance to tell me the truth, but she doubled down on her lies. That's when I knew that this wasn't just an affair. This was the end of everything. The woman I married, the woman I thought I knew, was gone. As if the situation wasn't painful enough, it was time for her to face the consequences. I wasn't alone during the confrontation. My wife's parents were visiting us that day, and I knew they had to know what was happening. They had always supported our marriage, and I wasn't about to let their daughter get away with destroying everything. When I told them everything, when I showed them the evidence, their response was nothing short of shocking. They were appalled, disgusted, and furious. They stood by my side, rejecting their daughter's actions, telling her that they could not support someone who would hurt her family like that. They made it clear that they would not tolerate her behavior and demanded that she leave their home immediately. For the first time, I saw my wife truly break. She tried to backpedal, but it was too late. Her parents had already disowned her, hanging up the phone on her before she could even make an excuse. They told her she wasn't the person they raised anymore, that she was selfish and deceitful. And just like that, my wife was left with nothing but her lies and her shame. But the chaos didn't end there. As if her betrayal wasn't enough, she showed her true colors once again. When she returned to pack her belongings, she wasn't just leaving. She was leaving with bitterness, anger, and the need to destroy everything she had once loved. As she packed, she ripped down photos of our wedding, memories of a life we once shared, and threw them on the ground, breaking them. I expected her to want some sort of reaction from me, but I didn't give her the satisfaction. I stayed calm and collected, refusing to give in to her attempts to provoke me. She knew the cameras were everywhere. Every move she made was being recorded. She had no choice but to keep her composure, but it was clear she wasn't going down without a fight. As she walked out the door, I felt a strange sense of relief wash over me. This chapter of my life was officially over, and though it hurt deeply, I knew I was better off without her. I had to focus on my children now, on keeping them safe, loved, and protected from the chaos she had created. The days that followed were the hardest of my life. I had to call in reinforcements, my elderly mother, to help take care of the kids. With my wife gone, I was left to juggle my work, the children's needs, and the emotional toll of everything that had happened. But through it all, I was determined to remain strong for my children. They had already lost so much, and I refused to let them lose me too. In the midst of the chaos, I took precautionary measures. I ordered DNA tests for the kids. Even though I was confident that they were mine, I needed to know for certain. The idea of my wife's infidelity extending beyond the emotional betrayal was too much to bear. Thankfully, the test confirmed what I already knew. The children were mine. I also got tested for STIs, just to be safe. Again, the tests came back clean. It was a small victory, but in that moment, it provided me with some sense of peace. It was one less thing to worry about as I tried to move forward. Several weeks passed and my ex-wife finally returned, but it wasn't for reconciliation. No, she had come to negotiate. She wanted a clean divorce, one where we would split everything down the middle, no questions asked. She wanted half of everything, as if she had been a faithful wife this whole time. But I couldn't let her get away with that. She had betrayed me, and now she was going to pay the price. I refused her offer. It wasn't about the money. It was about principle. She had destroyed our family, and now she wanted to walk away without facing the full consequences. I wasn't going to let that happen. The argument we had was intense. She tried to justify her actions, but in the end, she couldn't escape the truth. She had crossed a line, and I wasn't going to let her off easy. I slammed the door in her face, and that was the last time I saw her until the divorce proceedings began. Months later, the day arrived. We were in divorce court, and it was time for her to face the music. She walked in, visibly pregnant with her affair partner's child. He wasn't with her, and I could see the shame in her eyes. She tried to lie, tried to make me look like the bad guy, but I was prepared. I had video evidence of her affairs, her lies, and even her own admission that she didn't care about our children anymore. There was no escaping it. She tried to drag out the proceedings, demanding more money, more assets, but I had no intention of giving her a penny more than she deserved. The law was on my side. I had the evidence, and she had nothing. In the end, she lost. She lost custody of our children. She lost everything, except for a small financial payout. The judge ruled in my favor, and I walked away with the peace of knowing that justice had been served. The divorce was painful, but it was also the beginning of my healing. I focused on rebuilding my life and creating a stable environment for my children. I wanted them to know that despite their mother's actions, they were loved and cherished. With the support of my extended family and friends, I began to find my way back to happiness. I took up new hobbies, rediscovered old passions, and focused on personal growth. I even started taking classes to improve my skills. It was a journey of self-discovery, one that boosted my confidence and helped me become the person I had always wanted to be. Then, in a twist of fate, I met someone new. She was kind, compassionate, and understanding. We connected on a deeper level, and before long, we were in love. Not only did she embrace me, but she also embraced my children as her own. Together, we built a new life, a family that was stronger and more united than ever before. As time passed, my ex-wife became a distant memory. The pain she caused me, the heartbreak, and the lies, those things no longer controlled my life. I forgave her, not for her sake, but for mine. Forgiveness became a crucial part of my healing process. My children thrived in their new environment, surrounded by love and support. We celebrated milestones, faced challenges together, and learned valuable life lessons. What was once a broken family was now a strong, united unit, filled with love and hope for the future. Looking back, I realized that everything I went through, every heartbreak, every moment of pain, led me to this new chapter in my life. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And now, as I stand at the edge of this new beginning, I can say with certainty that I have been reborn from the ashes of my past. No, this is just the beginning. Life has a way of throwing challenges at us when we least expect it. But with strength, determination, and the support of those who love us, we can overcome anything. My journey of betrayal and heartbreak has transformed me into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling whatever life throws my way. And I know deep down that this story isn't over. It's only just begun.